So we're here today to talk about River Breakup 2012. We've got the River Breakup cam already posted on our website, woodbuffalo.ab.ca, and we encourage residents to go there to view the breakup on webcam, so you can see it from your office and your work without actually having to go to the riverbanks. It's very unsafe to be near the riverbanks at this point in time, and especially during a breakup event, and so we encourage everybody to use that webcam. We've sent out the the River Breakup brochures to the Lower Town Site businesses and residents. It's very important that they're reading these and that they're understanding what their evacuation routes are during river breakup. But we do understand that these pamphlets and brochures get misplaced through daily life, and so we've created the Emergency Evacuation Sign Program. So we're implementing 25 of these evacuation signs in the Lower Downtown Site, Waterways and Draper area. And so if there was an evacuation that actually occurred due to flooding, we would instruct residents to be following these signs to safety.
So I guess first off, the reason that we're up here is every spring there is a potential for ice jam related flooding at Fort McMurray, and so that's why Alberta Environment and Water monitors it along with the regional municipality. What we're looking at this year is a normal risk for breakup. There's a lot of factors that we look at over the winter and leading into spring. But this year, due to this, we've had a very warm winter, which I'm sure everyone has been happy about. We had below average precipitation last summer, which means there's a lot less soil moisture. So as the snow melts in the winter, once melts in the spring, once the thaw starts, the soil has the potential to pull in a lot of that moisture instead of it all going out into the river. We have, I guess, leading up to March, we had a below average snowpack, and we did get a good amount of snow in March, and so it's brought us up to around the average level. But all those kind of combined, we're looking at a normal risk for breakup this spring. We will expect to see ice jams on the Athabasca upstream. That's very normal. We see those every year. What we don't want to see is, or what we're hoping not to see is a jam that happens right at the confluence of the Clearwater. If you have a look at the map, you can see where the Clearwater comes into the Athabasca River. And the issues there have been in the past, the major flooding events is when you have a jam right at that point and it backs water on the Clearwater trying to get into the Athabasca, and it backs up into downtown. An ice jam doesn't necessarily mean flooding, and you can have flooding without having an ice jam. Like I said, we see a lot of ice jams upstream of Fort McMurray almost every spring. And last year we had one located right at the water treatment plant, and it caused elevated water levels but did not cause flooding. So having an ice jam and hearing of an ice jam on the Athabasca doesn't necessarily mean there is flooding. But you can have elevated water levels, and you can have flooding in low-lying areas without having a jam. So if you have a large ice run that comes through, it can elevate the water levels enough to cause some flooding. We have 4 ice stations located upstream of Fort McMurray on the Athabasca, and we rely on those to provide indications of water level. There are water level sensors that provide us information via satellite, so we get those from the computer. I believe it's 15-minute data on all that. It comes in every 15 minutes, and along with the water levels, we also have pole wires that we installed a couple of weeks ago. We install those every spring, and those give us an indication when the ice cover actually starts to move. So when you have movement in the ice cover at the station, it pulls that and sends an alarm through the station to our cell phones. And so we have, within minutes of something happening at that station, we are given warning of it. And that's very important in providing advance warning to the municipality. Our furthest upstream station is just upstream of Grand Rapids. It's about 135 kilometers upstream. For a significant ice run, if it were to push right through that station and right through all the bends to get to McMurray, it would give us about an 8-hour warning. And the other 3 are located within about 35 kilometers of town. That gives us approximately 2 to 3 hour warning for a significant ice run. There's a lot of chance when something's coming through that it will stall and jam upstream and then sit there before it starts to move again. Say every year the mean date is the 19th of April, and it's likely to happen within a week before or after of that date. And I think about 75% of breakups happen within that 2-week period surrounding the 19th of April. We have had a warm winter, and we have had a warm beginning of the spring. So things may be a bit sooner than we have, but we're talking about, days around the 19th, and we still expect it to fall within that 2-week range.